the nerds. This is for the brainiacs. This what we deserve.
You got this and you got that, and you gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds. This is for the brainiacs. This what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back. You ain't gonna touch me. You not gonna do nothing. You are not above me. I bet you wish you was me. I know it. I know.
Not good.
What's the line?
Oh,
I'm dead.
Yeah.
the line is now minus 20.
It's off the board.
Yeah, if you're still
It's off the
offering
board.
buyouts, if you're still offering buyouts, I'll take whatever is on the table.
What is an equivalent buyout?
I don't know. Opposite hand slap. Like what can I?
He's ambidextrous,
What
bro.
can I get out of this at this point in time?
You know,
I'll take it. Whatever it is, I'll take it.
I can't leave that up to like myself making this up. I have other people invested in this. So horse for gorse, gorse for horse, wherever you are. If you want to make up, give Berkey a buyout, we'll think about it.
I don't think he wants one.
I'm at your mercy.
So many people are invested.
This is the worst season as a Steeler fan that I can remember since I was like 11, maybe. I don't know. Honestly, like it's
Didn't
funny.
they had a losing season with Ben, or maybe he got hurt that year. It was when Ben was on the team. I don't remember what it was. That probably was.
I mean, this is like every season for you guys, 7-7.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
No, they've had positive. It's like every time. It's like notorious.
No, it's
that they
usually
always
like
have a
12-5.
You realize if Tom Brady didn't exist, that Ben Roethlisberger might go down as the greatest quarterback of all time? Like, we would have had 7 fucking Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
There was literally a Steeler dynasty in there with that was like culminated with AB, Lev, that whole entire defense, and they didn't win a fucking Super Bowl. They didn't even go to the Super Bowl because of goddamn Tom Brady.
We lost so many AFC championships.
So many AFC championships, man.
Tom Brady.
So many AFC championships.
Well, now it's
God.
very clear it's not the system, right? Because Pat stink.
I saw a tweet yesterday, which was
This is a sad one.
mind-boggling. The Steelers and the Pirates have the same amount of playoff wins in the last 10 years. 3.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
hard to do.
really?
Yeah.
The Steelers and the Pirates have the same amount of. Wait, the Pirates went to the playoffs in the last 10 years?
2013. Or is it 13,
13, 14, 15 they
yeah.
went, but they won 3 playoff games in 2013.
Oh, no, they won 1.
They won 3.
Right, but they won. Oh, it must have been. They must not be counting 2013 because they won the wild card game, the playing game.
That's a playoff game.
Right, and then they won 3 against the Cardinals in.
2.
It wasn't best of 4.
Best of 5.
Best of 4. Jesus
It was
Christ.
best of 5. They won
It's
2.
early, man.
They would have won 3. They would have won the.
Right.
They would have won the series.
I thought they were all best of 7.
No, it's best of 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
Opening
I was at
rounds are
that
best
game
of
6
5.
where they fucking blew it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's for all intents and purposes, it's baseball season. Let's go Pirates. I mean, they're going to re-sign Kutch this week, so let's go. Football season's fucking over. It's over.
God, I love this.
Wait a minute.
It hurts my heart.
What's supposed to change now for the Steelers? How do you get back to glory?
We trade for Justin Fields.
No.
What?
No.
What do you, these guys say no. Justin Fields is good.
He might be good. He just wouldn't fit our system very well at all.
Maybe.
Does anybody fit your system?
Yeah. Kenny.
Kenny's dead.
Kenny is dead.
He's literally dead. He's done.
They killed Kenny.
They killed Kenny.
They did kill Kenny. I know this is true. However, he'll be back. He will rise from the ashes.
So he's going to be in Phoenix. He's going to play for the Cardinals.
You know,
That's not a dad joke.
they call the Cardinals the Steelers of the West.
Yeah.
A lot of our personnel has gone there throughout the years.
The Steelers of the West.
I'm serious. They won a Super Bowl with our former. Was he
Ken Wisenhunt.
Yeah, was he?
They didn't win a Super Bowl. They lost
DC?
They lost the Super Bowl to us.
I thought they won one also.
No,
Did they
lost
win
to
twice?
Pittsburgh.
No, they just lost to us?
They lost to us. Yeah.
Inside job.
Maybe I'm thinking he went somewhere else and won. It doesn't matter. I'm so fucking tired, guys. Look, we need to get
He's
off
tired
this.
of football now that he's.
I wish today was the slap because I'm so tired that I
It would
think
wake you up.
well, it'd either wake me up or I would just like
Put you out.
put me down. Either way, I think I'm happy with the result. We got a lot to catch up on. It was a busy weekend. WPT is
Where's your hand grippy?
rolling in full
Thanks,
force.
buddy. You're right. I'm so sorry. Hold on. You got to get him right.
I was really excited to start training my forearms too. You know?
You can still do that.
Oh, I can't wait to go
What's the
back through
point?
all the episodes and just edit a nice little piece together. All that shit talk. Oh, man.
It's such a waste. Like for him to waste a 1 outer on this.
One
they were-
outer. Your
bro-
team blows, man.
They were 7-3 with like 4 cupcakes left on the schedule.
That's because they stopped getting the refs they had for the first 10 games. My God.
What?
Absurd.
Why do we give him a mic? I don't understand. Like, whose idea was it to include Conrad in the OnlyFriends podcast?
You. It was yours.
It was literally your idea to pay this man.
He's not my friend.
You're his only friend now.
It's very clear. He's not my friend.
He likes tortoise and guapo.
Yeah.
That's great. Who doesn't like tortoise and guapo? There's poker being played. WPT's steamrolling on day 4. We got a lot to talk about. They missed the guarantee. There's Twitter ablaze about it. There is a massive cash game that took place on Friday that I had the luxury of playing in.
They gave you a yellow chip.
They did give me a yellow chip. The main event ejected everybody in this room. That's always fun. Before we get to that, though, we got to give a huge shout out to Marley and Corey. We can start with Marley first. She had a huge score last week, I guess it was Friday or Saturday. I can't recall. It was after we were off air, though, so it was one or the other. Can't keep up with the European time.
No.
I don't know when things are happening over there, man.
Just a different time than
Yeah,
us.
It was
So
like
we
8
know.
a.m. and she was the final 2 tables.
Yeah, I just know anytime I have to have a meeting with somebody in Europe, they request that it's going to be like the ass crack of dawn or as I'm laying in bed falling asleep. And it's like, all right, we can have the camera off, right? Okay, I'm going to take this from my bed.
7 a.m.
7 a.m. or 9 p.m. Either way. Wow, 9 p.m. I'm old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and Brian.
Huge congratulations to Marley. She got, I think, 8th. Is that
Yeah,
correct? 8th for 126,000.
Euros.
Her biggest score to date. Oh,
Good job.
they are yours, but they're like 1-to-1 nowadays, right?
Yeah.
No,
Pretty
it's a little
close.
bit more. It's a
It
little
is?
bit more. I think so. We can let's go to the online calculator.
Let's go to the Google.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Google.
Knows.
Google,
Yeah.
tell us.
Dear Google.
How,
Google.
how rich is she
How,
actually?
how rich is she in US dollars?
Wow.
So she had a sick hand leading up to this final table where she got it all in aces versus kings versus ace king. Oh, a little bonus.
It's
like
like
1.1,
1.0, 1.09. Yeah.
1.01. All right.
140K for her.
So yeah, nice. 140K score. She's
Very
rich.
nice. Very nice.
Very nice. Triples her previous best.
Wow.
Love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she had a massive spot where I think she had like 20 blinds or so, maybe 25. She ends up getting it all in 3 ways. Got the birds. Why not? That's what you should have in a 3-way all in.
Go Birds.
Anything less would be uncivilized.
Go Birds.
Was up against the kings and the ace king. That propelled her to the final table.
Good
she
spot to scam.
That's a great spot to scam. I think she came in with like 40 bigs or so. Didn't see what the bust out hand was. No, I guess she had less. Her tweet said 95K locked up, playing down to 6. Just over 20 bigs. So yeah, it was a fun ride to follow. We're all very happy and proud of friend of the podcast, Marley
Congrats,
Sprague.
Marley.
Congrats. Also, huge shout out to Corgasm. He had a big weekend.
My man, let's go.
He had a corgasm.
The Gasm.
Guys, he's
Gasm
out there.
back in the streets.
Yeah.
He's out there just ripping off rings like they're
Yep.
giving them away. He
Yep.
might be the Tom Brady of the WSOP
Yeah.
online streets.
You fucked me.
You would have 7 rings if it wasn't for Corey.
Corey also won another 2 tournaments last night. Smaller amounts, but
Sure.
and got second in whatever one Landon's crying about.
And he cashed.
He also cashed the
the big boy.
My boy is on fire.
So he won the circuit event while playing day 1D
Yeah.
of the WPT and
Right.
cashing 330K.
Yeah.
That's a man of many talents right there. I couldn't put
Bagging
his
330K.
Yeah, bagged 330K. And then they made the money end of day 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bagged and tagged.
They literally stopped after because this.
I love this structure.
Mm-hmm.
This
I
structure's
fucking
amazing.
love this structure. I know that a lot of people are going to complain because ultimately it's a 7-day event. But it's like $5 million up top, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, if you're gonna play,
Sit back, relax, and enjoy yourself a bit.
if it's gonna
Right.
be a scam fest for first place getting $6 million, you can wait a week.
I mean, I think it's clearly the second best tournament out of the WSOP main event for the year.
It'd be
What,
tough.
what
to,
else would be better?
It'd be very tough to argue.
Yeah.
against.
yeah, runners wise, I would agree. Like it's
Well, runners wise, just it's
Structures.
structure wise, it being in like the opposite time of the year, right? It's in December.
Yeah, it's our Winter
which is
World
great.
Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, the series is clearly growing. It's massive.
Do you think was there anybody out there predicting that it wouldn't hit the guarantee? I think people
Maybe
people
some
were
people
calling,
internally.
yeah, well, yeah, for sure. But I mean, like just random, poker people, because people were calling for 50 million.
Pads had me fired up.
Yeah.
Pads told me he was going to smash 50, and I just looked him right in the eye and go, "You're fucking right, it is."
I thought it was hitting 45.
And then somebody made me aware there was a freeze out every day, and I was just like, I don't care. Pads is right.
Do you think it would have been
He
more or
knows
less
something
if
I
it
don't.
was re-entry?
More, obviously more.
Way more.
Obviously
way more.
50 plus.
Way more.
Do you think it would have been
One
50?
re-entry, I think he goes 50 plus.
Yeah,
It's not even
for
close.
sure.
I would have found a way to put 5 bullets in, and I only put in 2.
Do you
Yeah.
think that they're going to change that for next year?
No,
No.
and I don't think they should. I think it's perfect the way it is. It's just like
They may be more conservative with the guarantee.
maybe.
Well, actually,
think they
probably not, because they got so close.
I think they let it
2
run.
million's a lot, man.
I really don't think that they changed anything when it comes to the guarantee. And if anything, they make sure dates aren't aligned with anybody else, and they make it bigger.
Well, I guess that is one aspect of it.
It depends if the Fed decides to cut rates or not.
Sure. If Bitcoin gets that ETF, this might become
if we
a
see some
15K.
monetary easing, we're gonna put a 50 million guarantee on that bad boy.
Monetary easing.
Easing.
What are these
Easing.
these words?
Monetary
I appreciate
easing.
somebody else going through the struggles that I go through sometimes. I think that it probably depends. I shouldn't say that they won't make a reentry, because everything is probably dependent upon what WSOP does. Like, it's very clear that a small war has been waged, and
Yeah,
we get to be the benefactor.
we're here for it.
We are here for it. You know what? We got Twitter drama. We got podcast drama. Old Tucci's dropping a fucking dime today. You know, I got the over-under set at 17 times that he mentions my name.
How much did you lose on Hustler, though? 800,000? 8 million?
No.
I think it was 8 million.
100,000 million.
800
not only
million.
did I win, not only did I win over 400K, but the whale I brought won $500,000 too.
Just for reference, basically Bertucci said on Twitter Spaces that Berkey lost 800K at Hustler, and he won.
Yeah. Somebody sent me, by the way, shout out to, I'm not going to name names, but shout out to everybody out there that's just in the Twitter Spaces, grinding, taking screen recordings, sending them me in DMs just to get me a little fired up right after my cash session at 2 a.m. I literally come home from playing the WPT cash game, and I check my DMs. He's like, I just wanted to slide a couple envelopes across your desk, sir. I'm like, ooh, what do we have here? And we just got like, this is the only one that I tweeted out, but there were 2 more that whatever. If they make it into the public space, I would be happy to have a conversation about them, but I'm not going to initiate. In any event, yeah, like let's drop the bullshit, you know? Let's stop having people within the community fight. Let's have some fucking operators go to war.
Yes.
Let's see a WPT WSOP cage match. That's what I'm fucking talking about. I'll Dana White this shit. You know?
I love it.
Let's go, baby. Let's have a fucking 100 million guarantee for the summer. Let's have the WPT championship. I don't know. Have some strippers come out at halftime. Like, let's go, baby. This is Vegas. Give me the experience.
Do you think the WPT would do something like to try to rival the summer?
I mean,
No.
Put off.
they
They
can't.
just can't, right?
It's a foolish move.
they're not going to
Yeah.
try to rival
Yeah.
it, but they're definitely going to run something alongside it.
They had
Well, yeah, but they always do. Nothing is going to surpass WSOP summer.
Right.
Yeah, we know that.
There are certain things that you don't take on
like
because
there
it's too
was
big
a
a task.
WPT 10K in the summer.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah, but
that's
like-
kind of about it.
Yeah, but like nothing is going to rival the WSOP summer.
WSOP is ridiculous.
It'll take years to build a brand that can compete with that during that time frame.
Decades.
However, there's nothing competitive happening in December, and WPT had the leg up. So now WSOP is kind of fighting the good fight or I don't know if it's a good fight.
It's
but
just a fight.
They're fighting.
They're
Fighting back.
Yeah.
To kind of reposition themselves as the winter event that everybody plays.
Did they have winter stuff before or no? Like never?
Just what they had in Rosgodov.
And that was October, right?
Yeah, it's in October.
Yeah.
Just like circuit later? Like they have like WSOP
No,
Europe? Or?
it's WSOP Europe. It's bracelet events. It's like 15 events, very similar to what they did in Bahamas just now.
They still had that this year, it was just earlier.
Correct. No, it was in October. It's always October.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, like,
Earlier than December.
I wouldn't doubt if I think what actually may happen is WSOP has a spring series. I think we might see something where like there's a destination spot that WSOP just does bracelet
Bahamas
events.
again?
Probably not. Probably somewhere else in the world.
Really?
But
Maybe-
when in
maybe-
the spring? Because it's like,
You'd have to do it in like March.
yeah, like early March, like almost
Yeah.
like late winter.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's so much stuff going on at that time right there. Like
Nah. March is relatively dead.
March is
outside
kinda
of,
dead.
outside of
March might
Madness.
be March might be the only month that's dead because like April you have Florida.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch.
There's a lot of European tours that kick off around that time too.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of shit around then.
Yeah. January is always like a slam-packed tournament month. February eases off quite a bit.
Is January?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Borgata, Florida.
Yeah. In the States, for sure. It used to be the whole East Coast swing. So you would go Borgata, Maryland, Florida. There would be 3 WPTs in a row.
Yeah.
But I think they got rid of the Maryland stop. And I don't think Florida's WPT anymore.
Borgata
2 of
is
the
also
events
not.
of 4 are.
Yeah, I think the January one is not. But I could be
January
mistaken.
is not.
Right.
100%. It's the Lucky Ladies.
Lucky Hearts.
Lucky Hearts, yeah.
Lucky Hearts. But anyway,
Question though. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you think them doing something in March would hurt their brand in July or June,
I
July?
don't fucking know, man. I would, if you would ask me if the Rosgodov European WSOP hurt their brand, I would have said yes. And if you would ask me if the Bahamas thing hurt their brand, I would have said yes. And you know what? I'm fucking wrong.
I mean, these are a lot
People
of,
just keep showing up.
It's true, but like the Rosgodov is spread out. That's the other side of the world. Like,
Well, if they do something in the spring, it'll be somewhere else. For sure. It's not going to be in the States. They're only going to do the summer in the States.
wow, if they do
Yeah.
something in Australia,
Smart.
that would be fucking
They,
dope.
I don't know if they can, though. Like, the reason why Aussie Millions died is because of the legislation that's taking place in the
But
casino.
I thought they fixed that.
I don't know what WPT did to get to run that one event. I don't,
Shout out to Ethan.
like Gold Star or wherever they ran it at.
Yeah.
But it might
Coast.
Gold Coast, yeah. It might just be like the territory that they ran it in, because my understanding is that casinos have a hard stop at a certain hour, and that hour like I don't think you're allowed to play more than 12 hours at a time. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the casinos actually close for a period of time, so that it makes it such that like tournaments can't function.
I mean, that happens in the Bahamas, 4 a.m. cutoff.
Right, but you can
That
play.
is 4 a.m.
You can play as long as you want.
Oh, yeah.
You're not fixed as a player to a restricted amount of time.
Yeah, I get you.
you can also sleep on the couch as long as
Apparently,
you
you can also sleep on the couches if you get a little drunk and don't know where your car's at.
Dude, where are the keys? Guys, I lost the keys last night.
I'm a genius.
You're something all right.
Yeah, you are something, all right. But yeah, going back to Brian's question of would they ever try to rival something in the summer, I don't think people understand like how costly these series are to the operators. Like, these are loss leaders. They, even if they hit the guarantee, forget missing. Even if they hit, they're taking a bath. Like, they can't rake enough to cover all the cost of the bells and whistles that they put on for an event of this magnitude. So we really do benefit. Now, this doesn't become true of like the WSOP summer. That's a little different, right? Because everything is in-house. It's a longer period of time. So the more volume you can pump out, the more cost gets reduced, because you're not adding any new resource, right? The venue's already paid for, the staff is already paid for, the table's already fixed, et cetera, et cetera. But whenever you put on like these massive events for, call it 2 weeks, the price is incredibly high. And, you know, the venue itself benefits because there's a lot more foot traffic, all the restaurants benefit, things of that nature. And maybe WPT has a deal in place with Win where they get a kickback of some of that revenue. I'm not sure. But I just know that the overhead to getting these things off is very high. So
many dollars.
Many dollars. Thought Andre wanted to say something.
Wow,
Hi,
Andre's
Hey, Andre.
on the pod. What's popping?
I'm good.
Oh man.
Shout out to our original Guapo.
He's just here so he won't get fined.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hope Guapo's feeling a little bit better. He tested negative today, so you guys will see him back in studio tomorrow. We're looking forward to it. Let's get caught up a little bit on the championship at the Win today. Some notables. So we're all the way up to day 4. It looks like Naz Ajez leads, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a video where he was being interviewed. He actually is from Australia, and apparently another thing that's happening in these Aussie casinos is that they're just randomly banning people. And I had spoken to Huss about this last year, as well as Aussie Al, his buddy that they play with. And they were basically saying, like, it seems as though they're targeting winning players, and they just like kind of ban them like blackjack counters.
What?
So he actually couldn't even play the WPT when it was in his homeland. So he just decided, fuck it, I'll fly the whole way across the world. Which makes sense because this to them is probably similar to like what Aussie Millions was to us.
Right.
And man, that trip was well worth it.
It's USA Millions.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, this is way bigger than Aussie Millions ever was.
Yeah.
I think Aussie Millions at its biggest was maybe like 1.5 to first, 1.9-ish.
Maybe a 10 million guarantee or something.
Ship it to mama. You guys don't even know. You're all too
I
young.
know.
I
know.
That's the slow roll, right?
Yeah,
where
the
Sam
guy
spikes it.
Yeah. And Jay
I've
Carver.
seen it.
Jay Carver was on the mic.
Yeah. Legend.
Shout out to Jay Carver. I ran into him in the hallway. It was nice to see him again.
You got to walk and talk with him. If you're on break, he just keeps moving.
He's a mover. He's a mover and a shaker. He's very fast.
You can talk to him, but you have to keep up.
He every time I see him, when we could do some content together, it's like, motherfucker, don't act like I don't want to do content with you. Like, I'm chomping at the bit to get something done with Jay Carver, but you know it's difficult to get you out of the house.
And
he's like, I'm here, and I'm like, yeah, you are. I'm gonna kidnap your little scrawny ass. I'm gonna take you to the studio.
Not in a mission of guilt.
Conrad's gone. You're doing the intro.
I'm bringing a new friend.
That's right. New friend. Oh no, here it is. No. Oh man, this guy.
Look at what a goat.
Only here. Oh my god. Oh, 6 on the river. Ship it to mama.
What a call. What a call. Legendary call by the GOAT Jay Carver.
Goat goes for the slow
Man,
roll.
the peace sign in the air. Like, this is next level.
Sweet silence.
Shout out to Mikkel Hab. Wonder what he's up to these days. All right, so
never to be seen again.
I'm sure I'm butchering this poor bastard's name, but Naj. He's chip leading coming into day 4. There's 132 players remain. As we mentioned prior, first place just over 5 million, an insane amount of money. He has 191 blinds.
Yeah,
I fucking love this structure, man.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Chip leading with 191 blinds. Like, this is something that I feel like I could compete at.
There you go.
Oh, you give me 200 blinds on day 4.
They don't just give you 200 blinds on day 4.
Oh,
sometimes they
you
do.
have to be the chip leader. It's not everybody has
Oh, you
200
trying to say I
blinds.
can't be the chip leader?
Well, I'm saying you can, but I'm saying only one person can.
Yeah, well, pick me.
Average is
Now, if average was 191 blinds, now that's something you might be in for.
average is 50.
It's a 37-day event.
Yeah, he's playing the tortoise event.
Imagine, like, and I know it's impossible, but imagine, like, just fucking, like, talking people into flips or something and just, like, scooping a whole table worth of chips and somehow you have 1,000 blinds.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? I was honestly, because, all right, so I'll bring up my experience in this. Played 1B, busted, obviously, in 9 hands, and then couldn't play 1C because I got buried 100K in cash, and max late regging just seemed irresponsible when I was in the juiciest game of all time. And it did prove to be responsible to stay. I got half of it back, so we'll call that a win. Planned to play 1D, but then I got hit with the good news of, you're in. And I go, I can't be in.
You're in.
And I heard, no, you're in. You get to play with the G-Man. You get to play with Santosh. You get to play with Robo again. Like, oh my God, I've missed that laugh. I've been getting tortured by Conrad's laugh for the last 2 years.
It's been way longer than that.
And it's just replaced the echoes of Robo awkwardly laughing in my ear as he scoops in a $500,000 pot off of me. And I get to relive it all over again. As the 300-600 WPT cash game pops off on Friday, and I go, fuck, I'm not going to get to play this main event. Okay. It sucks, but it's great. Because like this cash game is going to be epic.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm all fired up, getting ready to play. Morning of, hey, you're the first alternate. Like, oh, no, why? So now I'm wrestling with myself.
B squad.
We talked about this a little bit on Friday, but I was like wrestling myself. I'm like, all right, well, I have options. I can go play the Bellagio, and then if I get the call to the cash game up there, I'll just shoot up and, you know, I'm in. Or I can play 1D, and if I get a seat, punt my stack. Now, as irresponsible as that may sound,
yeah,
I had very, very low confidence that anyone was going to leave that game. When you get to the higher stakes stream games, like it's weird because, you know, we see the 100, 200 streams like popping off every Friday on Hustler and, you know, Live at the Bike, Bally's, all these places, they can get 1-2 off pretty easily. But those lineups are actually like quite unstable. And part of it is just that
people leave.
Yeah, at those stakes, I think a lot of the people that are the games being built around are they're disinterested in losing lots of money, right? So they'll they'll just like bring an allowance, and if that allowance runs out, then they just leave the stream. And as people leave the stream, you know, other players leave the stream, or you know, sometimes people got a better home game to go to, and they just poach the entire fucking cast. Right. Like shit happens, you know.
That was a new one.
That was a new one. I haven't seen that one before, but
leaving the sickest stream game to go play an even sicker not stream game.
Yeah, probably get cheated.
Yeah.
But it, like 300, 600 and bigger, it takes so much effort to curate that lineup, and it's generally a group of guys that play these stakes very frequently with each other. So like really all you're doing is you're taking some other regular game that exists and you're just putting it on camera.
Yeah.
People don't leave those games. Like, you know, when I played in Ivy's room, we would break. Like it wasn't like one or two people would just be like, all right guys, it's getting a little late, I'm going to take off. And then, you know, we'd try to fill the seats and not fill them and then quit. No, like most nights it was like a scheduled break. Like, okay, what do you guys say? Play to 10? And then 8 people agree, play to 10, and the game breaks, that kind of thing. So generally that seat's not coming open.
Right.
And I knew everybody that was playing, and it was just like, I mean, maybe Dr. Sean has a bad run and decides not to reload. Maybe Han like gets a little sleepy and decides that he's had enough and leaves. High probability though, I'm just like on the sidelines watching the whole time. So I was like, you know what?
Not counting chickens.
Right. Yeah, not planning on getting in. So I was
you
like,
decided to play.
I'm going to fire the 10K.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the right thing.
That is the right thing.
I got in the mix. Mm-hmm. I bet folded a set. That was wrong.
What? You bet folded a set?
Yeah.
Whoa. Tell us more.
It was probably a mistake.
Tell us more about how you're in the muck.
I might be in the muck.
Stop it. It was a 4-liner.
Yeah, I don't think I should have bet it.
You shouldn't bet, just call.
Yeah, I opened 5s under the gun, got called by button in both lines, came 5-3 deuce. Or no, sorry, 6-5-3. Rainbow. I see bet like 33. Button calls, everyone else folds. Sure. Why sure?
Why is he doing this?
It's just like a heavy check spot. You don't care.
Shit. And guess what? I have a fucking set. Yeah. You know what? If you're going to bet, you know what hands you choose, Landon?
I got it. That's why I made the sound, buddy.
That's why you laughed?
Of course he has a set and you see bets.
Idiot.
Can't help himself.
Can't help himself.
Can't just listen to hand history without like his brain malfunctioning if something is not correct.
Like he's the arbiter of 4-way spots.
It's not even like not correct. It's just different.
I'm not the arbiter. Talk to my dad, man.
All right. Yeah. Ask your dad what he would do if fucking middle set on this board.
Your dad bets.
Not my actual dad. My online dad.
He would have yeeted it.
Not my actual dad.
So both blinds fold. Turn is the Queen of Hearts, bring backdoor hearts. I Did I check?
Why would you do that? You have a set. You don't do that.
Oh, because it was a 2-tone flop. That's why. It was 2 hearts on the flop. Turn was the queen of hearts. So I check. He checks back. River is the. Oh no! I'm confusing hand history.
Pretty sure you bet turn.
No, I did not bet turn because the turn brought the 1-liner. So it brought a 1-liner to a 7. So it was 6-5-3, turn 4.
River queen.
Check. River queen of hearts, bringing backdoor hearts also. And I thought I had the 5 of hearts, but I didn't want to look back, so I just blocked. I bet quarter.
I didn't want to.
And then I got jammed on, and I go, okay, well now's a good time to look back. I was like, 5 of hearts, I'm going to call because YOLO. I'm not trying to be here. I looked back at 2 black 5s, and I was like, God damn it. So I folded face up. And
you had 2 black 5s and you didn't know if you had the 5 of hearts?
I don't know if they were black.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. Usually it's
I don't know
easy
if
to
they were
remember
black.
when they're the same color. But yeah, I got
That was a good thing to pick up on, but I don't know if they were black. I just didn't have the heart.
Right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Literally. And and metaphorically.
Yeah.
So I fold face up, and he just like smiles and shows me 10s with the 10 of hearts. I'm like, God damn.
Man.
What are you doing? I don't even want to be here. I've already tweeted out that I'm trying to get $1 million or leave.
He tried to help you,
trying to
man.
bluff me.
He watches the podcast. He was trying to help you. He's a fan of the show. He's like, you want $1 million chips? Here you go, buddy. And you said no.
That's true.
You told him no. You said, you know what? You have it, and you go on to day 5.
The problem was it was too early. It was only like, I don't even think we had dinner yet. It was like 5 p.m. I was like, fuck, if I bust this, then I'm just going to go home. And then I'm like, going to get the call, and I'm not going to come back.
You came back.
It depends. I'm not when I finally got the call. It would have been
right. Too late.
I would have just came back, and they would have been like, all right, guys, that's it.
You played for like an hour?
Yeah.
It's a good hour.
I had like 75 bigs there, navigate, whatever. Finally, 33 minutes left in the day. I have 11 big blinds. I couldn't be in any more pain. I tweeted out something like, this is what poker purgatory is, and hell is imminent. And what I meant by that was purgatory was frothing at the mouth to play in this high stakes game that I don't have access to. And as a secondary outcome, playing the main event, which is $5 million up top and really matters, and then just being fucking card dead and sitting on 10 big blinds. Hell was then going to be busting this event and not getting a seat.
Right.
Like that was very, very clear that was going to be my future. So I'm about to take the big blind with 11 bigs, and Jamie texts me and goes, seat open. And I'm just like, wow, incredible timing. I actually have an all-in stack in the big blind. So I defend with 9-3 of hearts. It comes like king, queen, 5, 2 hearts. I yeet it. Guy folds 6s. Makes me sad. Fold my button, and then cut off. I jam ace-7 of spades, get it through, and then hijack. Now I have like 15 or 16 bigs. Folds to me, and I have ace-jack of spades. I'm like, wow, incredible. This was the last hand I was going to play because we were so close to bagging. I think if I got to 20 blinds, I would have been able to just like sit out and probably bag like, I don't know, 8 to 10 blinds, something like that. Depends on how many orbits I played. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to eat this hand, and then I'm going to go take my seat.
Painful.
And everyone knows, like, I'm like, I'm going to play this massive cash game where Santosh is stuck $1 million. And I need this stack to grow or go.
Grow or go.
I need it to grow or go, baby. Let's go.
The pain in my heart hearing that you don't min raise ace jacks of spades.
I don't have time to fucking min raise.
I got shit
Are you
to do.
kidding me? Like, you think I have time to play? Why would I min raise, Landon? There's a chance that we make it to the river and all my money's not in the middle. How bad would that be?
Good.
No, it's not good.
He's got other shit to do,
not
man.
Hear that I am leaving
The game is the
table.
game. The game is the game.
No, it's not.
This is why you lost the flip.
I'm leaving the arena, sir. I'm done. I'm gone. Do you know how bad it would be?
You disrespected the game. The game doesn't respect you.
Okay, so if I min raise, get called, c-bet, get called, and then shut down, and now I have like 9 blinds, I fucked myself.
You can get another hand.
I don't want another hand. I'm leaving, Landon. I'm leaving. This is the last hand that my physical being will be dealt at this table.
Sounds like cope to me.
I don't understand. I don't think you understand, man.
Hey, do you have that mute button over there, Andre? Can you please exercise it?
I'm like, I'm truly in awe that you don't get this. But anyway, I jammed for like 15. Small blind who's like a reg, and by everything I can tell, very good, goes into the tank, and he's like, God, this would be such a sick angle if you have aces. I'm like, aces? Buddy, I have a casino owner up there sitting on $1 million waiting to fucking hand out Christmas gifts. And you think that I'm sitting here like waiting for aces? I don't have aces. And then he goes into the tank and meanders more and more, and I have him covered by like 2 blinds. So he only has 13 bigs. He's going back and forth, and he's like, I don't know. And I'm just like screaming in my head, call. Like, I don't even care if you showed me ace queen at this point. Just please call. Yeah. And finally he's like, all right, man. And he slams the chips home. Big blind folds. He has 2 fucking 8s.
Jesus.
I'm like, dude, you should have been high-fiving me, man.
Okay,
like,
I'm back on your side. You should have won the flip. This is disrespectful. I'm back on your side.
like this is a slam dunk call off
in any situation.
In any situation.
Right, yeah. Like if you're not even, if you're trying to win.
This is a spot where like there's a good chance I looked at 1.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing, man? The game is gone.
Probably sold at 1.3.
So it comes jack high, door card, just like nice jack of diamonds right in the window.
Oh my God, you're going to win.
Fucking 8 of spades right behind it. Send me packing. So I had 2 blinds left, and I just abandoned it. That's when Conrad took a video of my stack.
I abandoned it.
I was like, you don't want to just put this all in next hand?
I left it the way Andre left us, like unwanted children.
Wow.
He's back.
He's back.
He's back. He's temporary daddy for the day. Mommy couldn't make it. She said, look, these are your children. You need to take care of them at least for 1 fucking day. Then you can go back to gallivanting around the world, doing what it is that you do.
What does he do?
We haven't figured that out yet.
We're not sure. He's like Chandler in Friends, you know?
Yeah.
He works with
R.I.P.
widgets.
Chandler.
Yeah. Just came out that he died of ketamine overdose.
Yeah, like he had a lot of ketamine in his
lot of ketamine in his system.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like the amount they give you to like sedate you when you are getting surgery.
Well, you would think you would survive that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like you should survive.
There wasn't an anesthesiologist there to monitor things.
Okay. Well, that does seem important.
Yeah.
How was your guys' experience?
It was great. It was fun. I mean, besides the result of busting on day 2, but day 1 was great. It went smooth. I just chipped up throughout the whole day. Ended with like 3x starting stack. Feeling really good. Yeah, felt really good. A little bit above average. You know, I'm like, all right, here we go. We're off to the races.
The tortoise is
would
off
have loved
to
to
the
have had
races.
tortoise on that bubble, man.
I know I could have.
It was only 5 hands.
I know, 5 hands.
Short bubble.
I should have just folded my way there. No, and then day 2 was it was a pretty tough table. There was a couple good spots, but everybody else was playing pretty well. And I just kind of like after the first level, I had like a similar stack that I came to the day 2 with, and then lost a big flip to fun player, and
that was it.
No, that wasn't it. That got me like I still had like half a remaining stack. I had like 150. Then I got kings. And big blind defended flop top pair. We got it in, and he found the second pair on the river. And that was it.
Yep. Guess you didn't learn your lesson about kings, huh?
I didn't. Should just folded them.
Yep. Should have mucked them. You gotta wait for the aces. That's the strat.
Right.
That's true.
That is the strat. How did you jam your way out, Landon?
I had value.
Whoa.
I got tanked on by better value.
This is rare. Okay, this is not that rare for you. You got flush over flushed?
I want to scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't get it, man. Like
he had loud screamo moments in the garage.
It's just fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy.
The game is gone,
it's always,
mate.
No, it's just always supposed to be like, oh, like you're the guy that bluffs everywhere and you're supposed to go for thin value because people are supposed to call you. I've yet to get a thin value bet called. I've only gotten red line. And it's just like, all right, I'm just playing a different game than everybody else.
No. Your thin value bets get called.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. Just by better.
By better. Yeah.
And then you scream.
But like thin value is top pair, like clear value.
Yeah.
Like I was playing a different tournament than everybody else. He's like, oh, like I chipped up slowly. I played this tournament for 3 fucking days. And value bet every top pair I could have ever had. Oh, I call 2 pair. Oh, I call set. Oh, I have a set min raised.
Can I make a suggestion?
I don't fucking know, man.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go for it.
Maybe dial it back a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe check a street or two.
That's the problem. I honestly, one of my favorite.
Hold on, someone take the bat.
One of my favorite hands in the entire tournament was day 1B, where I opened cutoff with king 10, button calls, big blind calls, and I'm messaging a friend like the entire time where I bet top pair, get called by 2 pair where they have a clear raise or things like this. Flop comes king 8-8, checks through. Turn is a 7. Backdoor flush draw comes, check. I go 25%.
Yep.
Call.
Yep.
River. 6 of spades.
Okay.
So it's like king 8-8, 7-6, backdoor spades gets in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we have a clear value bet with top pair. We can maybe find the fold.
Oh, 3 ways.
finds a
Clear
raise.
value bet.
No, it just goes call fold.
Oh, okay.
Call fold. So it's like, I'm against a button that's going to have a lot of smaller pairs.
Sure.
Like, you know what? Let's just go for a B25. This value, surely we can't lose here after check through. Bet 25, beat me in the pot. Flip king
7.
10. King Jack. And I just instantly start texting my friend who's behind me because he was on break in the prime and just kicks my chair. And I'm like, I can't take it anymore, man.
Yeah.
Still somehow bagged 3 starting stacks on day 1C after doing the exact same thing for 9 levels, getting 18 bigs, winning 16 bigs, winning an all-in blind versus blind, and then winning a 3-bet pot. And like you just won in the last level and then you just have 3x starting because the blinds are so high.
And then you got scammed.
And then I got flush over flushed by a guy with the scarf. That wasn't Lewis, because Lewis would have beat me in the pot.
Sven out there.
Like if I got
Fake
beaten,
Sven.
if I got beaten in the pot and lost, no problem. But like when you get called for long enough to where you want to get called and then lose, that's pain.
That's what happened with me with the 8s.
That's pain.
I thought he had like ace 4 suited.
Right, like he has ace 10 off. He has something that still should call anyways.
What is this slow bleeding of Sven?
That's so
His tank's
good.
so long with the scarf. Look back at his cards 3
the
times.
Ghost of Sven.
Yep.
It's so good.
I would literally rather be like open call, jam Jack 10 suited for 30 and lose to queens.
Yeah.
Rather lose like that.
I
No
get
problem.
It. Yeah, I get it. Conrad, yours was a bookended tale of you ran into aces and then you busted with aces?
Basically. So actually funny on 1D. It's coming to the end of the night.
You punted on 1C.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's coming to the end of the night and whatever, people are moving tables and this guy comes and sits to my left. And he comes with all the excitement. He's fun. He's giving me pounds. He's like, what's up, guys? Like, trying to talk to everybody. He's like, oh, it's going to be a fun table. Minute later, right before the dealer deals the first hand for him, he's like, you're at the wrong table. Guy's like, no, I'm not. I'm not going anywhere. Call the floor.
He goes, he says, my vibe is here.
Exactly what he said.
Right.
He's like, I like the vibe here.
Yeah, I get
and
it.
I was like, oh, man, why is he leaving? All right, anyway, so the floor comes over. He kicks his ass out. Got to go over there. Next table over. He gets fucking replaced with actual Sven.
Literally Sven.
Literally Sven. Fucking John Zarnod, or what, I can't say his name, but John just comes in, Hans just comes in and takes his seat. Like actual Sven.
Okay.
So,
Graf
whatever.
Teckle Sven?
Huh?
Graf Teckle Sven?
Is that Hans?
Yeah.
Jan Zarens?
Yes.
Yeah, Graf Teckle.
Yeah. So,
You mean the guy that Kessler said wasn't good at poker because he didn't have any live earnings?
yes, that one.
Who then won $3 million at WSOP?
Yes, that one. So whatever that, we go into day 2, and then we just had aces. You know, you told me to wait for aces. You told Tortoise, and then I waited for aces.
It's a very important strategy.
And then the other person had jacks, and then as the dealer put the board out, I couldn't see the first card, the window card. But all I heard was everybody at the table just gasp. And I was like, oh my God, this is so pain. I'm leaving. So I just got up and got my shit because I knew I'd already fucking he had hit a jack because of everybody's, oh my God. I'm just like, fuck.
The pain is real.
The pain was real. Whatever. I love the event. It's amazing.
It's so much fun.
The tournament, the venue, everything is just amazing about it.
You know who else loved the event? Joe fucking Hachem.
Joe fucking Hachem.
The man is back.
He's 2005
20
main
years
event
after, a little less than 20 years. 18 years after winning the main event,
Definitely doing something.
he's resurfaced. They kicked him out of Australia because you're not allowed to play in casinos longer than 10 hours any longer. So he made his way over here, across the pond. No, not across the pond. The whole way around the world. In 80
Across the
days.
oceans.
Across the ocean, literally.
Only just to find himself folding kings on the exact fucking bubble. Correctly.
Such a sick end.
And I got to tell you, he's a better man than I. If there was a face I would fold kings to, it's for sure this guy. no offense to Ben, but as excited as he looked after opening under the gun. First of all, I don't know how we 3-bet and not 3-bet jam. I guess. Yeah, never mind. I take it back. I guess he's like 25 blinds effective. 15. 30. No. Yeah. More. Whoa, way more. He's way deeper than I thought.
Yeah, he's got 30, over 30.
Yeah, okay. The same makes a lot more sense to me now. Yeah, the speed in which Ben elects to smash it in his face. I think I would have. All right, Nate, what are we doing here, buddy? You got 9 deuce. We're fucking playing hand for hand.
Birds!
Okay,
Go
we're
Birds.
playing hand for hand. You don't need to goddamn tank the 9 deuce.
I'm not sure if they were hand for hand yet, were they?
Maybe not.
Yeah, everybody took their time, so
We're
like, I don't think so.
Yeah, probably
5
not.
off the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Right, it's 485, 40 cash.
okay. Well, I got to tell you, in the future, let's go hand for hand 5 off the money because this tanking, it ain't for me, bro. It ain't for me.
Honestly, no one really wants to do it, but they have to.
Do you think?
Yeah.
All right. So in Ben's situation here, do you think what helped allow Joe to fold his hand was that before the chips went in, like when it came back to him, he heard this on the table? Do you think he actually heard Ben's dick hit the table? That's what I'm getting at.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he did.
I think that's
Do
the
we know
locker.
Ben? Is Ben just a
Yeah, no idea.
just a random player?
Ben is Ben.
Well, the thing is, I mean, if Joe is, this is coming from the tortoise,
right.
the tortoise perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's playing with this guy all day,
Come on, bro.
knows him, and listen, there are certain people that on the bubble of a 10K will not put all their money in unless they have ace.
The man
It
has
wasn't all
over
of his money,
100
though.
big blinds,
Yeah.
though, and he covers them by 70 or something like that.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's true.
You know?
Oh, you're right.
3.5x his stack.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah. No, I thought Ben was at risk for a second.
Bro,
Sorry.
Ben,
Why is he standing?
why is he shoving? Ben, chill out, bro.
Yeah,
let's make sure we stack kings here, huh? What do you say, big guy?
Ben,
He doesn't want to take the beat. I get it.
Yo,
Ben should be doing this with a lot more hands than aces.
somebody just said something pretty interesting that we didn't realize.
Go on.
Hachem and Ari, are they brothers?
They are not brothers. Listen, you can't just pick out 2 white guys with gray hair that made the final table of the main and ask if they're fucking brothers.
Arya made the final table with the main?
You got 3rd.
Yeah.
The year
Arya-
David Williams got 2nd. That's how they're such good friends. Well, that might not be exactly how, but
Wow.
that's the correlation.
The lore runs deep.
The Raymer year. The Fossil Man.
I know about Fossil Man.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Well,
Arya got 3rd. What the
they're
hell?
second.
He got third Moneymakers year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I confusing the
think
two?
it was
I thought he
Moneymaker.
shook David Williams' hand and said, "Bust his ass." He didn't do that to. Yeah, he didn't do that to Farha.
Oh, maybe you're right.
I'm pretty confident.
Maybe you're right.
Book it.
Yeah, I'll book this one.
No, maybe you are right.
I feel pretty confident
No,
because when he
yeah.
busted, he walked up to DW and he goes, "Bust his ass." That's
Really?
like his famous thing. Fact check me on that one, Conrad.
2004 was the year that he got third,
There you go.
That's
yeah.
Raymer's year.
which
Yeah.
was
It's Raymer's year.
You
Somebody
are
famous
correct.
got. Maybe it was Dan Harrington that got.
Harrington made that final table. I don't
He
remember.
made back to back, right?
Yeah.
He made the 2003 and 2004.
Yeah, I don't remember if
Yeah.
Greg Raymer.
Wait,
2004.
and David Williams got
second. I don't know why they have it listed that way, but he got second.
Okay.
Matt Dean, Canadian.
Wow.
Forgot about him.
Yeah.
A.
But yeah, there was some well, Brewer tweeted about it,
Brewer's not happy.
and then Lewis copied his tweet and tweeted about it 12 hours later.
It was literally word for word the same tweet.
It really was.
We're gonna have to have Lewis on because I need people to understand how much I actually adore him because he's becoming this like inside joke now.
It's true.
And I don't want it. I don't want it to become any sort of like Lewis bashing because I really do love the kid.
No, he's great.
But yeah, Brewer tweeted, the people who were saying near the bubble that this is so easy are obviously hilarious. I'll give you guys a hint. 3-bet folding kings needing only 37% equity for chips is not an idea. I am a little curious about this tweet in the sense that why is he talking about what it is for chips? Basically, he's basically saying that like ICM can never be so great that the disparity between the action you would take for chips versus the action for ICM would sway you that far.
Yeah, I imagine that's
probably right. Yeah.
You know what
I
happens?
mean, your risk
reasonable.
premium. How high would your risk premium have to be
Well, you'd have to
to
have
fold? Like you'd have to.
case money on the table.
Yeah.
Okay. Guaranteed the cash.
Yeah.
The headline should have been Hachem broke, folding Kings on the main on the
Yeah.
win main final.
I mean,
bubble.
quite honestly,
Honestly, the risk premiums probably don't get that high outside of satellites.
before this past
Yeah,
year,
right.
if
That's good.
Brewer would have took some of Hashem's advice, on the bubble, he would be a lot
Come on,
richer.
dude. Don't do this.
Sorry.
Don't do this to Brewer.
he won
All you
14
can
million
do,
this year. Leave
all
him
you
be.
can do is
I'm
play
joking.
well and pray to God that the 10 deuce doesn't beat you again on the fucking bubble. Okay. And you know what? God willing, we're going to get to see Brewer in a tough bubble spot as he enters the $1 million one drop today.
Baby.
I'm not sure what the field's going to look like. I've heard a lot of grumblings. There was a premature sign-up list, not premature, but like a list that began prior to the event. I know Ivy's in there. I know that who else were some of the confirms? I mean, I guess we can just look as it probably kicking off in the next 30 minutes. But then there were some grumblings that it wasn't even going to go because I think some of the recreationals may have decided against playing or something to that effect. But I saw Brewer tweet today like how fortunate he feels that he gets to play a $1 million buy-in. So it does look like it's popping off. I'm excited to see the field. Saw Volgasang out there in the main event. He's going to be in there, I'm sure. He's got spares.
Vogelsang is still in the main.
Yeah, but he'll two-table. He's got. He has the same problem I had with the cash game. He's just.
He can't two-table tank that long. He's got shot clocks in the main.
That's true. That is true. Okay, that's fair. Well, it is late reg, so maybe if he dies in one, we see him in the other. If not, maybe he makes a deep run.
There's also the 25K high roller, day 2, 35 left.
Big shout out to Nick Margington.
Come on.
Hits me up last minute for a tiny little taste. Let's go, Nicky boy.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yep. He bagged 4 starting stacks.
He bagged 1.1 milli.
Okay.
Starting stack 200.
Oh, even better.
35 left. 23 get paid.
Yep.
Erst is over $1 million.
Over $1 million. Oh,
Rampage won this last year.
get me.
Ethan won this tournament last year.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, Nick, get me even for the month. I'll let you all decide what piece I have of him. But please win it and get me even for the month.
Wow, look
I
at.
will say this: he has to win it to get me even for the month.
Well, I like the top 5 in here. Basically, Orpin, Darren, Elias,
Oh, okay.
Breck,
Victoria is in there, isn't she?
Joseph Chong has piles.
We got some old school guys out there.
I love this.
We do got some old school guys out there. All right, let's get to let's get to the biggest discussion. Or not the biggest discussion, but let's call it the meatiest one, if you will. WPT did miss their guarantee, and as we know, WSOP just hit theirs. I think it was either 3 or 30 people over the guarantee. I can't recall. And there was a bit of a difference. So I think that the way the WSOP structured theirs was that the $15 million was guaranteed taking out the
3%.
staff. Yeah, the staff fee, the 3% staff fee. So I think they ended up getting like $15,030,000 in the prize pool, if I'm not mistaken. And then they took 3% out.
Yeah.
So everybody actually played for, 14.65 million prize pool, which kind of sucks. It's a little bit misleading, I think.
Apparently, a bunch of people were put in the tournament as well.
Well, obviously. I mean, that's going to be the case for both of these.
Yeah, of course. But last second.
Yeah. But I think that's just largely always going to be the case whenever there's a big overlay like this. I know Party Poker had something similar when they first ran the first Party Poker Millions in the Bahamas at Bahamar in 2018, I think. Last minute, it was abundantly clear they were going to overlay, significantly. And there was just a bunch of Party Poker pros that got flown in the last minute. They're like, well, if we're going to overlay and we're going to pay this money, we may as well get a fucking 10% rebate on some of these guys. Bake it into their contract or something.
Makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, that's kind of a little misleading. I think I do think that if you're going to put guarantees on things, it shouldn't be the customer's responsibility to cover costs.
Right.
I think those costs should already be baked in, especially when you're also running an online flight to cover a lot of the guarantee and ensure that it makes it there's a lot of things I think that we can point to that kind of imply that they didn't truly hit their guarantee, if we want to like measure it that way. WPT did not take the staff fee out. So they guaranteed 40 million, they put up 40 million, and they missed.
Right.
They missed it by a couple hundred people. I think the total overlay was something like 2.35.
Something like that, yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. So roughly 230 to 250 people they missed it by, plus the 3%, right? Because them hitting 40 million on the dot would still have cost them the overlay of the staff fee.
Right. So
you actually needed what was it to guarantee it? 4,000 people?
4,000.
So they actually needed like 4,120.
Well, did they? Because they take out because it's 10,400 buy-in.
Yeah, but I still think they take 3%.
I think
the 400's the rake.
Okay, and then 3%.
And then I think they take 3% staff fee.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're separate.
That makes sense.
I'm not positive, so don't quote me on that.
Right. But that does make sense.
But I'm pretty certain that that's true.
Okay. So yeah, they just needed
So they needed like closer to 4,100.
Right.
So they actually missed it probably by just shy of 400 people when it's all said and done, like 350. And it's weird to me that such a positive event can occur for the entire community at large, including WPT, in my opinion, right? Because sure, this is a huge expense, and same thing with WSOP, like huge expense, and overlays are never great for operators, but maybe it's optically that it's a negative for the operator. I just find it to be odd that such a positive event could occur for the community and the community's general tone. Maybe that's unfair because I do think a lot of the people spoke up for the WPT, but I will say that there was a lot of dancing on the grave. And I think the same was true of WSOP, right? Like, okay, so they technically probably missed their guarantee by 100 people or so. But like, who cares? That doesn't make the festival a failure.
No, it's actually a good thing because they put such a lofty guarantee on. They didn't have to do that. They could have made it 30 million and then almost guaranteed themselves to hit it. But no, they put 40 on, knowing that if they miss, then it's just value for the community, which is always a good thing, and that's a good thing to see from WPT.
Yeah, I don't understand why people get upset about that.
Yeah, how could you ever get upset about that? We benefited from them putting this huge goal in front of them that they just barely missed.
I'm not even sure if it's like people were upset. I just think that there's a lot of taking the opportunity to dance on the grave of a failure or what's perceived to be a failure. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I would spin both very positively. I think both were overwhelming successes. I didn't go to the Bahamas, obviously, but everything that I heard, it went far smoother than a lot of the PCA trips that I've heard people speak of, right? The introduction of the new WSOP app sounds like it's a game changer.
It was, from what I hear, it was absolutely amazing.
And they're going to have that for the summer?
Yeah, I believe
we're
so.
hoping?
Yeah, basically everything that I know, having spoken to some people that are high up and well within the know of this, is it's just a matter of getting it past regulation. But I don't think that'll be an issue because that was Bravo's big uphill battle for a while too. And then once it cleared, it was forever just there for us.
Also, we spoke on this the last time we spoke about this app. They do. You were allowed to put Bitcoin on.
Yeah, but that was a Bahama thing.
Oh, okay.
So this I know for sure. Basically, I had a meeting with someone that like informed me of some of the stuff. But like the reason why they were able to take crypto is because they weren't in America.
Gotcha.
We're gonna have a lot stricter regulations. So like that will be what prevents it from going live by this summer. If that were the case,
makes sense,
right? They need payment processing in the States is just a fucking nightmare.
It's Elizabeth Warren's fault.
It seems it seems like it's her fault. Actually, if I had to find someone to blame,
it would be her.
Yeah, fuck her. No, but like everything has to go through banks. There's so many checks and balances where we're so strict against money laundering here that getting new payment processors like this is going to be a nightmare. But I don't care if we can't buy in through the app. Right? Like, I just want all the other fringe benefits. I want there to be no more lines. I want there to be no more seat cards. I want there, like, EPT is so ahead of the game when it comes to this. The PCA was such a pleasant experience.
It was so
where
good.
Everything is just super
well,
automated.
The NAPT also is running it that way as well.
Correct.
Because it's part of Poker Stars.
It wasn't completely that way yet. It wasn't like
there were no seat cards or anything like that.
No. It wasn't completely like they didn't have complete use of the app yet.
Right.
But they, from what I do hear, in the future, there will be complete use.
He's
Right.
hearing grumbling.
I hear the grumblings.
But they all have the iPads at the table,
Yep.
and everything's done digitally, which is just.
It's actually
we're living in the digital age.
well, it's really unfortunate because the competitor to
Poker Stars?
No, to Bravo is Poker Atlas. And the irony is Poker Atlas never really took off. It's mostly used by small rooms. Shout out to John, by the way. Used to play a lot of 510 with him back in the day. He's the developer. So it took off in like some small rooms, but it never really took off globally the way Bravo did.
I think it's because everybody has long-term contracts with Bravo, though.
Possibly.
I think that's what the situation is.
He was second to market for sure.
Because he got, like, Resorts World, when they opened, they immediately got in, like, with RW, so.
The big thing with Atlas is it could have been what that app is for Stars and EPT. It
Like
could have
Poker
been
Stars Live.
Yeah.
Like it's the big thing with Atlas is that it like comes with this fully integrated system. Yeah. So every table comes with like, an iPad or whatever the hell they're using for it. And developing these apps that allow you to run a tournament seamlessly and doing everything online is not that challenging. My only concern with it, I guess, would just be that the further away we get from the traditional method of running these events, the more of a problem it may cause should the system ever fail.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I hope that, and I'm sure that they are, like EPT is pretty sharp. Hopefully the WSOP stays up on their staff and stuff like that. But I hope that they have protocols in place for like, if the system crashes, then we do X.
Yeah.
We go back to traditional C cards. We take payment at the whatever. Anyway, whole point being is that I think moving forward, we're going to see a streamlined process at the WSOP, and that is a massive win for everybody involved. I think that, even though it's abundantly clear this winter WSOP was kind of a middle finger to WPT, it's still just so good for us as players. And that's something that doesn't get talked about enough.
Logistically, I listened to Conrad. You could have gone Bahamas and then WPT.
You could have.
Fine.
You could have. But honestly, like in your situation, maybe it's different because you were already in Florida for Thanksgiving. So like, then maybe you should. But like the Win Series, when you live here, it would be silly to travel.
Sure.
The prelims are so fucking good.
Yeah.
The Prime was outrageous.
Missing the Prime would have been absurd.
Well, I mean, of. If you're an East Coaster, missing the Prime is very reasonable for the WSOP, I think.
Because you're playing you're playing a 5K X million guarantee.
15 million guarantee. You're also playing a 1650 mystery bounty that's like
5 million.
5 million guarantee.
There was two of those.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're on the East Coast, it makes a lot of sense to go there. If you're West Coast, it makes a lot of sense to stay here.
Yeah.
I think all of this is just really fucking positive for us. Yeah. So I understand what I'm leading to. I understand why people had such a knee-jerk response to Norman's tweet. And to be clear, like, I wish I had the ability to read it in Norman's voice, because I want people to remember, like, what or who he is as a character. You know what I mean? Like, I think there have been a lot of his takes on Twitter that have been a little curmudgeon-y over the years, and we've started to portray him in this negative light. But, like, let's not forget that Lon and Norman were the voices of the WSOP for the better part of 2 decades, and that they ushered in this whole new wave of what is modern poker. So, yeah, maybe he's become a little bit of the grandpa on the rocking chair that's waving his fist, complaining about walking uphill both ways to school when he was a kid. But, we can't just, like, throw him out with the trash because he has
to the wolves.
Yeah, because he has like a little bit of a jaded tone to this tweet. And the reason why I said I wish I could read in his voice is because, like, it's also kind of his shtick.
Yeah.
Did I think he was joking whenever I read this? No. I read it the same way you all read it. I read it as a dig, maybe a slightly less subtle one than he thought, at the WPT for overlaying.
Yeah, I read it like 9 times last night, reread it, and I'm just like, I was just like, man, geez, is this just like a joke? Like,
if you read it in his tone, I do think, yeah, like it's like his ex-wife, and basically like what I'm getting at is like, this is why I reserved to comment, or why I didn't really comment on it, because I truly adore Norm. I think that he's such a huge part of televised poker and having brought us to the masses. And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But even still, even if this was a complete dig at at WPT, even if this was him standing up for his brand in whatever capacity he feels is necessary, who fucking cares? Like, why does it have to turn into a mudslinging fest where because an ambassador for one brand takes a dig at another brand, all of a sudden we just like tear down everything that was sacred for the last 20 years and what these people meant to the community?
It's just that we really appreciate one brand. And we really appreciate, as players, we appreciate WPT, it seems. They do things for us. They care about us.
I agree with
so,
that.
like, when it comes down to it, like, don't throw shit at them.
I understand where you're coming from, and I understand why that would evoke some emotion. I also think it's, like, really privileged to forget how fucking important the WSOP is to us.
Yeah. No, of course. But, like,
if they disappear tomorrow, like we would be in a much, much, much worse position as a community as a whole. And I think people take that for granted because they see them as corporation. They see them as leeches that are out to suck every dollar out of us. But it's not true. I mean, yes, they're a corporation. Yes, they're greedy and they're going to take their rake and, you know, they're gonna toe the line, or they're gonna push the boundary as much as possible to see where we bend and where we break. And maybe WPT will too someday, right? Like, it's always the backup quarterback is always more attractive than the starter who's losing. You know, like
put in Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're shouting for the third string guy that doesn't belong to have a uniform.
From Slapgate from Conrad with Mason Rudolph.
He's drawing dead, but
he still isn't right.
Yeah, he got slapped by a helmet from Miles Garrett.
Garrett hit him, and he still isn't right.
Yeah, he's fucking brain dead. But my point being is that WPT is trying to position themselves as the industry leader now that WSOP has been for 20 years. So of course they are giving us more things. Yeah. Of course there are more olive branches and better relations with the players. Of course, there's more free money available. Of course, the amenities are going to be a little bit higher because that's part of the acquisition model. And I'm not even trying to portray this as that's evil or bad or, an intended result to manipulate us. It doesn't matter. It just is, and we benefit from it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can't forget that we benefit from the other one too. You know, like we had this thing with stars for many years too, where when they took Supernova Elite away, where everybody portrayed them as the enemy. They were
right, like Regs can't win anymore. No one can make a living from poker.
Everybody
online.
Hated stars for like a 4 or 5 year window.
More rake is better.
Right. Esai was gone, and they were just like this bloodthirsty corporation that was trying to suck every single drop out of the community, and that might have even been partly true. But then when we come full circle, we zoom out a little bit and we go, this landscape doesn't exist without stars. Right.
You're like, oh, look at EPT Prague, and look at look at all these other things that are
and not even just live, but like the online landscape, even with GG taking over market share, like without stars, it probably just collapses, right? Because you need steady competition amongst the top. If a monopoly forms, we as the community suffer. Right?
Well, we're seeing that more from TTs, but like online cash is dying so fast.
It is. And
so fast.
That's not an operator issue, I don't think. I think that's just an online problem as a whole.
Just like a community issue because people cheat?
No, well, yes. The security is obviously a massive underlying fact as to why cash is dying, but it should also be impacting MTTs, and it's seemingly not having the same, it's not carrying over the same burden. So
online MTTs are, I mean, sure, there's some good series here and there, but it's not like
it's dwindling, but it's much slower. And I think this is
it's dying slower.
Yeah, I think this is a byproduct of just in general, MTTs are easier to onboard new customers.
But that's why live is doing so well.
Correct.
Is because people would rather just play and think the deck cheated them in person versus getting cheated behind a screen.
The wild thing about live MTTs is that if you could just like create a chart and say there are 5 categories of players, let's say.
There's tier 1 through 5?
Yeah, tier 1 through 5. Tier 5 is your biggest losers. Tier 1 is your biggest winners. And you were able to just graph what the win rate of each tier looked like. No one would ever play a fucking tournament.
Correct.
Because like tier 1 is like
stealing all of it.
Not only are they stealing all of it, but they're making like 35% plus ROI. So it'll be a range, but like the floor will be like 35% and the ceiling will be like sub 100.
Yeah, sub 100, maybe 100 if you're playing the main.
whaliest stuff. Yeah, right. So it's like if you were able to graph that then and then, you know, attribute buy-ins to it, it's like, okay, so you're telling me that if I'm a tier 1 player and I put in like 1.5 million of volume a year, I'm likely to make 600K.
Yeah, somewhere between 4 and...
Right. Like that's my ceiling, and I have to be the fucking best in the world.
You have to be one of the best in the world. You have to play at the best in the world every time you play tournaments, and you have to deal with the variance that comes along
Correct.
with it.
So it's just like...
and keep your mental sanity.
Right. And that's the beauty, is that chart doesn't exist.
Everyone thinks they're winning infinite. I mean, this was the whole bet that they made, and then Kawhi won the main.
Right.
This is the bet that Chris made, and then Kawhi won.
It's not even just that. It's what props up the lottery, right? Like, we don't advertise what your hourly is in these things. We advertise first place.
Right.
We advertise these guarantees, you know? And honestly, like, I'm not even trying to poo-poo it. I think it's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's better this way.
It's so much better this way. The only challenge that I personally, as a longstanding pro, have is, how do we then convert some of these players into the cash games?
Ooh.
Well, not even just for my own personal gain, but for the stability of
Hey, you just won the WPT main? How would you like to come to Bobby's room?
Not even. How would you like to back 10 horses? But
Bring
no,
your friends.
I'm not even saying for my own personal gain. I'm just saying for the stability of the community at large. Like, you do need that. There needs to be that crossover, right? Because if we just start shifting all of our dollars into MTTs, then I do think eventually it just gets vacuumed up.
And it used to be like that.
As
It
in,
used to
like-
be the you'd have big scores and then you'd go into cash games.
Tournament series were utilized to advertise for cash.
What do you
Right,
mean
yeah.
gets vacuumed up? Like rake just gets higher, or
No, he's talking about the top 35%.
Oh, everyone just keeps all the money.
I'm
Not top
talking about
35.
both.
Yeah.
I am talking about both. I think people go broke too quickly, way faster than people realize. Like, a 1-2 player will sustain their losses a lot slower, I think, than like an average buy-in 500 guy.
Oh, you're fucked playing an ABI of like 1K.
That's what I mean. And then to speak to the rake point, if cash games disappeared and the only form of poker that existed was MTTs, the rake would absolutely have to increase significantly, because, as I mentioned, putting these tours on is very expensive. So it's easy to do it as a one-off once a year, maybe have 2 of them, whatever. Or if you have like the original WPT model, I'm not sure if they still operate this way, but they partner with casinos where the casinos actually pay them an amount of money to bring them in, right? Then
like a licensing fee.
yeah, then there's like ways to, you know, break even or make small amounts. But if you solely 365 are just running tournament series, it's so many. Think about the dealers. That's just like the number one resource that you have to consider, is that like you have to triple or quadruple your dealing staff for a very finite amount of time, and then send them packing.
Right.
You know,
Here's 2 weeks and then go.
right. And not even that, but even like throughout the day, it's like, as tables break down, it's like you're out.
Right.
So it's like they go from the steady work to non-steady work, and they're not getting paid or compensated better for it. So yeah, it's just very, very resource intensive.
Man, the industries, we're getting too smart. People used to be like, oh, you could just win $1 million.
People are still like that. That's why MTTs are growing.
Yeah.
People
You
are definitely
can.
still like that.
It's a lot easier in the summer though.
It's easier to be stupid.
It's so much more.
I would rather just like think, oh, like first of $1 million, I'm going to win this tournament today, and then you lose. Like, no, I'm going to try again tomorrow.
Yeah, I like that.
Because then one day, maybe you might.
Maybe you might.
But if you don't, sad times.
Right. All right, let's talk a little bit about the response to Norm, because I do think that he kind of got an unfair shake in all of this. I thought Savage's response was actually the most well thought out, calculated one, and I think it's the right voice to come from. He is the guy that's kind of the face of the WPT when it's at the operator side of things. And he simply replied, he said, "That hurts, Norman. At first it read as a compliment. I'm proud of the WPT effort here, and we're lucky to have Win Poker as a partner." So it was just very short, saying like, you know, I don't care for the tone, and I'd rather work together than compete type of thing. Even though, let's be honest, at the end of the day, these two brands are trying to win.
Right.
It's good for us if they do.
It's good for us that they compete. It would also be very beneficial to us if they collaborated. Not partnered. You don't want a monopoly, but you would love a collaboration.
Right.
Right? You would love something where instead of having, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I would think you would love it if instead of everybody around town trying to compete with the WSOP during the summer, you had the WPT right before the World Series, the entire World Series, and then the WPT right after the World Series. You know, and you just capture, you elongate it, you know, and then let all the other smaller venues.
Summer forever.
Kind of like instead of making people choose, you know, one or the other, you can play everything.
Yeah, or like, you have, again, like going
the Bahamas,
back. Yeah,
maybe have the Bahamas like a week later.
Or have the Bahamas like Florida does stuff in January, and then you have Bahamas then. Like,
right, but
they're already there.
In the near term, they need to compete. You need to make people choose. If they ever get on equal footing, then perhaps like you have something where like the Poker Go series is May, and then the World Series is the summer, and then the WPT is July, you know, that type of thing. And you're just in Vegas for 70 days now instead of 45.
And you also, you want them to compete, but you don't want one to crush the other.
Exactly.
Right. So like if that happens, then that's a bad thing for the community as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, we keep doubling back to the competition between these two, but I just want to focus on.
But that's kind of what Norm's tweet was about, in a way, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, even if you hit the tweet with like back in my day when I saw that this tournament was going like this,
right? It was very much a backhanded compliment, but it's also like I don't know, man. I could just like hear a tone where he truly might have meant it as a joke.
Twitter, but voice
he might
audio.
have, right. That's the thing with with tweets. It's like you can't get the content, you can't get the tone. It's tough. Yeah.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I personally am saying I did not read it as a joke. But I see a world where he probably thought it was a joke and it just didn't land.
Yeah.
Like I said, I read it like 9, maybe 90 times last
but you
night.
need to read it that many times to actually get the message anyway.
You're right. So I didn't read it 9. I read it 90.
Right. Okay. That's fair.
Because I was just literally like, man, I feel like an asshole if it's just like a joke and it's just coming from a Norm joke. And like, I mean, I don't think I said anything really out of line, but
yeah,
it was just like,
it's really funny to watch all this play out because I realize that we do this as a community as a whole, like just generally, especially when we're talking to our peers, we feel like we can use certain language and tone with them because we're all kind of on level footing and we can just be very frank and matter of fact. And I do think that there is room for that. Like I think Savage's tweet was very well crafted. You know, you could just kind of say like, well, that was an unnecessary shot type of thing, right? And I'm very guilty of this. I do this all the time where I end up engaging with something that, you know, maybe it was something I could have been softer about, right? I could have used a little bit more kid gloves. Like I think about like the Torelli stuff and the Jonathan Little stuff where they put out these bullshitty marketing tweets and I just always take offense to them. And I try to do it tongue in cheek, but like, what if the joke doesn't land? Then it does just appear that I'm being mean.
Yeah.
And that's something that I personally should be more conscious of. And I bring this up because like I'm reading Sean's tweet to him and it's unfortunate, right? Because at the end of the day, Sean's just very emotionally tied to this stuff and he wants to defend a brand that he partners with on the regular in WPT. And that's very reasonable. But it just becomes kind of a character assassination or an attack on Norm whenever it's like you're a clown, you don't know anything about tournaments, you barely know how to commentate on tournaments. Like now you're taking shots at the one thing that he truly is recognized for in this industry. And like that's unfair because he took a shot at a brand and you're returning fire by taking a shot at him individually. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. I saw this whole thing play out and it just made me feel like a certain kind of way about the way we handle our business in the public space. It made me feel very I don't want to say like that it's bullying behavior because I don't think that that's accurate here.
I mean, it got nasty.
It was a lot of dogpiling.
Yeah, it got nasty. If you go through the comments and shit, the's a lot of shit being said.
Right.
I read every last one of them.
I think that's true. I think you're hitting the nail on the head. It's not that he didn't deserve backlash.
Yeah, he definitely deserved backlash.
For sure.
Like just even with like the tweet being maybe joke,
Yeah.
whatever.
Like it missed.
Yes.
It missed. You're going to get shit for missing.
And you need to hit with something like this.
Agreed.
Because like you're talking about a company that the players absolutely adore.
Right.
So it's like
you're taking a shot at Santa.
Exactly. When you got to fucking hit.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
You can't be the Grinch, take a shot at Santa and miss.
exactly.
Yeah, you got to nail that one.
Yeah.
But I do think that like a lot of the language, a lot of the tone, I don't know, man. It's just kind of sad to me. It's like, it's weird, and I don't really understand it because this type of shit happens a lot where I'll bump into somebody and they'll just be like, "Oh my God, like I've been watching you for years, yada yada," yada. And that's like very surreal to me because in my pea brain, I'm still the same guy that moved out here with you 15 years ago that's like on the grind and just like looking to make a way within this space. So it's weird to be elevated in other people's eyes that are watching from afar. But that's Norman to me. That's Lon to me. Like the first time I did commentary with them was so fucking surreal, man. Like these,
Right, like these are the people that I've watched. These are the people that I've seen on.
Grew
like,
up on, right?
yeah, these were the voices that we were listening to while playing like 25-cent home games in 2004, while every single Tuesday when ESPN would air the WSOP coverage.
It's like the "How did I get here" type shit.
It's how did I get here, but it's also like where did we all go wrong? You know,
How did they let me here?
No,
just
not
kidding.
me in my experience, but it's just like how is it possible that there's no graceful exit out of this community? Like you just turn into a villain and then get ostracized.
If you leave,
No, just in general. It's like he's been around for almost 20 years and it's reaching a boiling point where it's like, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying that he's not without some blame. Like I said, he's taken some very strong stances that are very unpopular and that will get you a lot of backlash. But I don't know, man. I guess like there are certain people that I would lend more grace to than others.
I mean, it's the Batman quote, right? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Possibly. Possibly.
Are you already the villain or no?
I-
To some people,
I was born in the darkness.
you merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to even say like I think we should do better. I mean, I wish we would do better, but I just more so I don't know, man. I just wish things were a little more protected than they used to be pre-social media.
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I feel bad when it comes down to it. Like reading back, like everything, I really feel bad. I feel for Norm. You know?
It sucks getting dogpiled on the internet.
No, I mean that.
It sucks.
I mean,
Yeah, not fun.
yeah, but like you're different than him.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
I'm fucking built different, and it still sucks.
No, but you know what? But you know why you're built different is because they do it to you so much. You become callous to it.
Well, I also antagonize it
that's
to
the
some
thing.
degree, but it's
Are
just
you not
like,
entertained?
right, but I put that gif up too many times.
Yeah.
But like it still sucks. It sucks to get dogpiled. The only thing that you can really benefit from when it happens is if you are in the right space, you can take a step back and say like, wow, I missed here. I really fucking missed. Like it's impossible for me to be, I don't even want to use right and wrong, but like it's impossible for me to have gotten my message across the way I intended and have everybody just shit on it. Like that's just not feasible. So it is a bit of humble pie whenever you get dogpiled where you just have to kind of accept like, okay, like I need to either be more careful or more mindful of how I'm getting my message out there because this isn't it. But then there's, you know, the kind of like almost targeted attacks where you just get dogpiled as an innocent bystander.
You'll catch strays.
Yeah, you're just kind of like chilling and then all of a sudden your name pops up in a thread and you're just getting fucking strays for an hour. It's like, the
Back
hell
when I
is
was
going
getting shit on
man?
the internet,
Yeah.
people used to not talk like this.
That's right. You used to fucking at people when you were talking shit on them.
Dude, subtweeting's been a thing for so many years. It'll never go away.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something.
All right, I'll say one thing about this because obviously, you know, I have some experience in all of this. Especially, am I too loud?
No, you're good. You're just really close.
You know, I've told you guys we have just in general a lot of imperfect allies, and you have to like for life just get used to that. Norman is definitely one of these people where you said it perfect, where he's like kind of a curmudgeon in the space, and it's interesting always what he speaks up on because he stays out of like the really hardcore drama where there's someone that's very clearly evil or a bad actor in the space.
Yeah.
But then when it's his friends or his perceived friends, he just shits on everybody.
Right.
But we know he's shitting on people like in Norm's way.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's not actually shitting on people. It's like, hey, I'm going to criticize you, and I had the best intent, but I'm going to criticize you here. I think why this hurt is a couple of reasons. Number one, it's because like it's kind of, I'm not going to say true, but WPT in general put a really good effort forward and tried to craft a really fantastic series and came up short a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
don't think
okay.
they came up short.
If they hit,
Well, monetarily.
Yeah.
if they hit and he did the same tweet, everybody would recognize that it's a joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But it's because they didn't hit. And then whether, you know, I think that's why he deserves a little bit of shit for this because, okay, context matters. The joke has to be they did well and then you still shit on them. And it's like playful rivalry.
Yeah.
But this comes off as very, very bitter.
Yeah.
I think the other big problem is we're so conditioned, us as humans now with guarantees are so conditioned that guarantees don't necessarily apply really all the time, right? I'm not saying, especially in poker, it's a little bit weird, but I think like Kickstarters and stuff, all those like minimum thresholds, we're so accustomed to thinking those are just, that's PR bullshit.
Right.
Right? Like, okay, yeah, you're going to smash the 100K, you know, funding round, and then it's going to be 500K, and now you're going to make headlines, right? We're so accustomed to thinking that way that is part of the meta. When we don't see it or we don't see a big tournament that doesn't hit, it's like, it hurts a little bit extra.
Yeah.
And I think WPT was honest in their marketing instead of being, you know, the clickbait shit. So it's like you know, it's a combination of so many different things, but yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, man.
Yeah, I think also to kind of like bookend all of that, it is one of those things of I almost feel like there was a lack of awareness that he has such a powerful voice and so much reach within this space that he doesn't have the luxury of missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that gets lost often. I think we just too often like view Twitter as our own personal playground where we can just say shit and see what sticks and what doesn't and kind of like test things. But once you become a big profile on there, like the target's on you, you know, all eyes are on you. And if you miss like that, especially with intent to kind of dig at your competitor, you're starting a fire and like you are kind of engaging in the fight. And to then like be hurt and kind of backtrack and be like, wow, I didn't know you guys, you know, viewed me that way. This is very hurtful kind of thing. I think that that's like an unfortunate side effect that probably was eye-opening in a negative way for Norm. Like that would be really shitty if people that I consider to be peers or colleagues or friends were saying some of the things that like, you know, he was getting tweeted at him by big names, you know, like I saw Aryeh apologize for like what he said. You know, there were just like a lot of really big names that were in that thread that were not super kind to Norm. And I think that would feel worse than just like a bunch of nameless faces.
It was like a knee-jerk reaction from the entire community.
It was, but it was,
but like,
it was an understood
people
one.
yeah, oh, for sure. But as soon as people saw that, they just read it for what it was and then just went to the keyboard.
I
right?
mean, when it comes to the majority, though, like everybody saw his tweet the same way.
Correct.
Except for him,
right?
Apparently.
And the thing is like, you know,
like group vote, everyone's got their hand up except him.
Living with a Zoomer,
Resident Zoomer.
I've gotten some clear coaching on what will hit and what won't. I saw that tweet and I was like, that is going to do fucking numbers.
That tweet is his tweet?
Yeah.
Oh, right. For the
like
bad. For
that
the
is
reasons.
going to do numbers.
Good or bad.
It's going to go poker viral so fast. And so when every single tweet in my timeline was a response to it, it was just like, well, this probably wasn't what you intended.
You know what Zoomers call that? That's a good Seek tweet.
That's a very good Seek tweet.
742,000 views.
You're seeking
comments.
Like,
no, shit. There's 189 comments. And there's like zero.
There might be
guys.
as many quotes.
Yeah, tweet theory, like you're seeking engagement, right?
Yeah.
Some people do it through content they post.
Some people.
I think it
people
hurts
post
so
nudes.
much too because a lot of people consider Norm a friend.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, if you're indifferent to someone, whatever.
Yeah, you
But
don't
like,
care as much.
Yeah, you hurt a family member though. It's like, the fuck? you are not supposed to treat me like that.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that he got that treatment in reverse, which
Correct.
is really shitty
Because the
it
community,
frays a lot of things.
like the community stood up for WPT, where WPT didn't even like really put out a statement themselves.
Correct.
Right. It's just like, oh yeah, like we all loved what they do in the ways that in the events that they post.
And I think that's really great. I also think it's a slippery slope because I think everybody forgets how awful we are during the World Series about complaining. Nobody gives the right props to that series when it takes place. And the reason I say it's a slippery slope with WPT is because it's very easy to pat them on the ass and say, hey, good job, guys. Way to get out there and give us this unreasonably large guarantee. And you know what? You may have given us $2.5 million in free money, but you're going to get them next time, and we're going to show up in droves. And that'll be true for some period of time until, like, you know, the guarantee disappears and this event gets a little bit tougher, and maybe there's a dealer shortage and some other problem pops up. And now all of a sudden, the December tweets are starting to look a lot more reflective of norms than everybody who's out here singing the praises. I just think that, like, it's worth noting we're very fucking fickle as consumers. And it's a byproduct of us both being the player and the customer all at the same time, right? Like, you kind of have to advocate for both sides, where it's like, well, I'm the competitor, but I'm also your consumer, right? So it's like, I need fair competitive edge, but then I also need you to take care of me as a returning customer and make sure that you do the right things to keep my business moving forward. That's a weird dichotomy. You know, it's a weird thing for this space to have to juggle. But all in all, I think at the end of the day, like, everybody's doing a great job at the big picture level, and we just
Poker's
get like very
bigger.
focused. Yeah, and if it hasn't, it's maintained.
Like the Prime, even though like the WPT main overlay, the Prime was the biggest payout for a 1K event ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause it's that.
Even that was a huge
Well, that
guarantee.
price point is like, I think that price point is where poker has grown the most.
I mean, it's just, well, it's because it's too low.
Well,
The dollar has just gotten cheaper.
Maybe,
you know?
maybe, yeah, that has
Monetary
something to do with
easement.
it, right? But like, no, those like $500s to like $2,000 buy-ins, like that's just
The
where, like, you
550 Orleans main got 90K to first.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty good.
absurd.
Pretty huge.
Everything's huge right now.
But, like,
Everything's popping.
And it was a 10K. It was a 10 million guaranteed for a 1K, where you only got to re-enter once per flight. Like,
Yeah,
it
that's
wasn't
wild.
max re-entry, right?
Wow.
Like MSPTs and things like this. Like, they have multiple days, and you can re-enter as many times as you want. This was like, you brick twice, you have to go home.
Yeah.
And try again.
Get them out.
No. Oh, you talking about the Prime?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Get them out. All right, let's get out of here.
Get us out.
Let's get out
us
of here. Since we're talking about Twitter, let me give you guys our Twitter Tuesday prompt. What hack poker jokes are we ready to retire before 2024?
I have a great answer.
Okay. You want to share now or you want to wait?
Yeah.
You want to type?
You play that garbage when you chop a pot? That was instant. I didn't even think about this.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You play that garbage,
Let's
get the
get-
fuck out.
Let's get rid of that.
That's a staple at the Jewel.
Let's get all jewel.
Literally,
humor.
Brian only goes there to just like fuck around and make these meme jokes with his boy, with his boomer bros.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
It's
Can't
Boomer
wait.
Bros. When do you guys meet? Every Tuesday? Boomer Bros?
Boomer Bros, yeah, every Tuesday at 7 a.m.
Okay. All right. Respect to the Boomer
Hot
Bros.
dogs on the turtle today.
All right, that's going to get us out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We apologize for being a little bit late. Guapo's going to be back in the building tomorrow. We're also going to be joined by Pudog Melissa. Don't forget, we do have an academy coming up January 15th to the 17th. There are still a couple seats remaining for that. If you guys are interested, head to academy.solve4y.io. Also, don't forget to grab your OnlyFriends merch or your Solve for Y merch. You can click the link in the pinned comment above, or you can click the link in the description below. We appreciate any support from you guys. Thank you as always. We'll be back tomorrow. See you guys then.
Peace.
Later.
Bye.